Good afternoon, everyone. You're all very welcome to our latest trader interview here at the Alpha Capital Group. So today we've actually got a bit of an interesting one for you because we have our youngest funded trader at ACG with us today. So Soma, obviously very, very welcome to today. Obviously great to have you on board and lovely to obviously touch base with you again. I know you are our youngest funded trader at just gone 18 years of age. Am I correct to say?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for having me, Gareth. Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Okay, so just a little bit of backdrop. So Summer is just turned 18. He bought his recently, I think in the last couple of months or so, or a little bit less than that. Am I correct, Summer?
Yeah, it's been 1 month, 1.5 months.
Okay, so he bought his first evaluation with us just over a month ago, has got traded, has gotten funded, has taken out his first withdrawal. And in addition to that, we are proud to say that he's actually passed his second funded account. Now, for any young individual or any older or any of any age, I think the big thing here is to look at the longer term process. So it can be done at any age, any experience. If you're prepared to put in the work, you can very much reap the rewards. And as a pleasure, we're obviously lovely to have Summer today with us. Now, I suppose Summer, without further ado, do you want to maybe talk us a bit about yourself? Tell us through the audience about where you're from.
Yeah, I'm from India. I'm from Telangana, Hyderabad. I'm from India, and I've just completed my class 12th. This year, I've completed my class 12th, and I started trading when I was 15 years old. In 2020, I started trading. Pandemic hit us all, and we were all at home that time. So I didn't know what to do. And my parents were struggling to get successful in the Indian stock market. Actually, that's where I have originally started stock learning and everything, actually. So my parents, I was very fascinated about what my parents were doing all day long. From 9 o'clock to 3 p.m. I was very much fascinated about what my parents are doing, looking at the charts, looking at the monitor for 6 hours, 6 long hours continuously. So it was very exciting for me to what they are doing. My mom, especially my mom. So I just got into trading. So I started to learn bits and pieces from them, my mom, and it was not easy process, but yeah, but I started slowly. Then I asked my parents some money. My father, I think now today I'm here, that's because of my father. He has continuously encouraged me every time I lost this journey. It's been 3 years I started, and it has not been an easy journey. I've seen many ups and lows, and I've lost many of the so much money. Actually, in Indian markets I have lost so much, and every time I lost, my father did not discourage me, but he has encouraged me throughout. Every time I lost, it was like, go ahead, go, don't stop it here. Actually, in India and in general, people generally, actually trading, it's not a very encouraged profession, very acknowledged profession. Many people see it as a gambling, or they don't encourage it officially. If out of 10 out of 9 people, they'll say trading is a gambling, they don't encourage. So I have also faced so much of criticism in this journey, and it has not been easy. So, but only my father and mother, because of them, I think I'm here. And every time I failed, I was continuously encouraged.
Brilliant.
But last year I've taken a break. 2022, I had my academics moving out of the line, so I had to take a break. I have to get them on the line, and now again, and this 2023, I was very much sure this time I shouldn't return. And with the very first funded account, I got it, and second time you gifted me an account, that also I passed. Then tomorrow I'll complete that evaluation too.
Lovely, amazing. Like I suppose that encouragement that you've received from your parents is obviously so important. So I know that for a lot of people, trading can be a very, very lonely thing, because it's yourself, you're in front of a monitor, and it can be very, very difficult because you're not in an office, you're not liaising, you're not speaking to people on a daily basis. So the fact that you have that like support network, I would believe that you probably think that's really, really important in your success. Would that be correct to say?
Yeah, absolutely. Without them, I think I wouldn't be here. I think I would have stopped trading in the very first or second month of the trading journey. I think I
Yeah,
wouldn't have come this far, obviously. But
yeah,
because of my parents, I came this far. I think their encouragement has obviously helped me out. Without them, I think I would
yeah.
never come this far. Just
Amazing.
not even halfway.
Yeah, it's truly amazing. So I know you're saying obviously in India it's quite a discouraged profession, right? So trading, the gambling nuances or attachment is associated to it. So why did you become a trader? Or was it just purely the interest that your parents had in the stock markets and obviously developing wealth? Was that solely that got you into it? Was there any other considerations that was maybe luring you into wanting to become a trader?
My parents were the kindling of the fire, actually. They were just the beginning of encouragement for me. But lately, I've seen the YouTubers and everything, this lifestyle of the traders and the freedom that you get once you're successful, once you reach the height of the trading, the freedom you experience, the freedom and the joy you have, it's brilliant. So
Yeah.
that's what has kept me motivating every time. And
Brilliant.
at the same time, it's not very easy
No,
to get through this process. Yeah.
no, it's definitely easy. Like there'll always be pitfalls, there'll always be movements, there'll always be good times, but there'll be bad times. I think it's how you handle it. So I suppose without further ado, then, do you want to maybe talk us through a bit about your strategy? So how you look at the markets, because like 18 years of age, you're a very, very young man, but yet you've got a good mature head on your shoulders, and you seem to do really, really, really well. So I suppose the secret is, do you want to maybe talk us through a bit about your strategy?
Yeah, mainly my strategy is US 30. Actually, Indian markets also, I mainly focus on the indices. Indices were my key players actually. So indices, what is something which I use to make big profits.
Okay.
Indices was my main player, so indices were everything. So in US 30, my main player is US 30. I don't usually go for other pairs. Other pairs I just trade for practice or experiment, but my main player is US 30. So US 30 is also in New York session, Dow Jones session.
Okay. I suppose the quick question I would ask you there then, would you classify yourself then as a short-term trader, a medium-term trader, a day trader? What type of time frames do you look at within your strategy on, let's say, US 30?
I would classify myself as a day trader, completely intraday trader. I usually look at for a momentum in an intraday time frame in Dow Jones session, New York session basically.
Okay.
So I basically use 15 minutes to 5 minutes time frames, and I capture a quick momentum in 1 or 2 hours, and that's my basic motive. Not
Okay.
scalp, but not taking a very long profits, not on the both, but on the middle of the edge.
Okay. Middle of the road type. Okay,
Yeah,
brilliant.
middle of
And
the road.
I suppose in that itself as well, do you use any indicators? Do you focus specifically on price action? Like what I know you mentioned their order flow and price action and stuff like that, but is there any other tools you use along with that, or are you just simply watching candles, watching price action, and then making clear decisions off the back of that?
Definitely not indicators. I don't use any indicators because in Indian markets I've used many indicators. I have practiced many of the indicators. I think most of the indicators I've already used, practice in this trading journey. It has not been easy. I've been testing every strategy and lately realized that nothing works, no indicator works.
Mhm.
Technical analysis is just 20 to 30%, and 70% is your psychology and your mindset is what matters in the market. So basically, my technical analysis includes price action completely. With basic, I think only simple things work in the market, not complicating it too much with adding tens of indicators
Mhm.
and adding so many indicators, order flows, and all this volume analysis. Many people do a lot of stuff, but I don't think all those will make your analysis paralysis. They won't work in the very long run. So
Okay.
you'll be very much confused. So simple things only work in the market. So normal price action is what I trade because I've tested many strategies I've tested in this 3 years, 4 years. This is my fourth year. I've traded many strategies, many indicators, but none of them works. Only simple things work in the market is what I really realized.
Interesting. Lovely take on that. Lovely take. And I know you're talking like 20%, 20 to 30% technical, and the rest is kind of psychological. Do you look at the broader market dynamics? So would you incorporate, let's say, for example, fundamental analysis into your ethos or into your viewpoint, or are you just solely price action and visibility of what you can see on the charts?
I just look at fundamental analysis. When there is a big news coming up, technical analysis don't take action actually. Fundamental takes over everything. Actually, on the very first day of my funded account, I didn't know there was a big news coming up and I lost the $475 on the very first day of my funded account. I was very much disappointed, but lately again with my technical analysis, I brought from the drawdown from 4.7% drawdown, I brought it to the very
To the
much
chart.
profit again.
Yeah. I suppose, look, it's like anything. I'm sure you probably see that as a valuable lesson learned, although it was
Yeah.
a very disappointing initially when it happened, as it does with a lot of people. But I suppose that's what life is. It's really all about learning from your lessons, learning from your mistakes, and trying to continue to improve and develop. And like to go from, let's say, 4.75% or 4.5% down to then being able to say, well, I'm going to get this back, have the discipline, have the mindset, as you talked about, the psychology. That's so, so important. And I think this is why I was loving to having you on today, because it's so remarkable to get the insights from a young man, but so mature for your years is just beyond me. So it's obviously great to hear kind of your mindsets. And I suppose, talking about mindsets, how do you handle your emotions? Do you have set risk management profiles built in, or do you have a set risk management strategy, particularly, let's say, off the back of that heavy loss that you took initially? How do you manage your risk on a day-to-day basis?
The mindset I have now has not come very easily. I've been broken many times. I have been very much disappointed at times, because trading is much more related with the mind game, not with the charts and all. I personally believe that it's basically with your mind. It's a mind game, not some anything else, but it's a mind game. And being a 15-year-old, handling so much of emotional turbulence was not so easy. So I have been broken, and at last I have become stronger. At last, from these 3-4 years, I've finally become stronger, and I've gained this mindset. And my personal risk reward ratio is basically 1:3, and I don't risk more than 0.54% in a trade. Actually, in the very first day also, I did not risk more than that, but only single candle, because of the fundamental news, it has just taken on my stop loss with a very huge margin.
Gotcha.
So I generally, if you look at my charts, if you got my orders and everything, my loss is basically between $40 to $60 in a trade, 0.4 to 0.6%, but profit is basically 200 to 200. So I maintain the risk reward of 1:3 to 1:5, basically, or more, sometimes 1:10 also I get, but in a very rare occasions, 1:3 is basically my ideal ratio.
Okay, so you're looking at, we can even look at your dashboard actually shortly if you want. We can maybe bring in some of that as well if you're happy enough to do that. I suppose that you're looking at then the statistical probabilities, really, risk, reward, percentiles, but also what are you getting back, or what is your ideal return if you were to enter, let's say, for example, today you take Dow Jones, having a clear structured approach in terms of that, right? That's really interesting. I've look, everyone's different. So it's really good to hear different insights, because everyone's obviously different, how they operate, how they work in that regard. And I suppose leading in with that then, in terms of the risk, because the risk obviously ties into back testing, because of course, for you to know that you're applying a 1-3, let's say on average, or that's your ideal scenario, I would presume that in the last 3 or 4 years, you've done quite a bit of back testing or forward testing. Would that be correct to say, or have you done no back testing?
No, I have done back testing. A lot of back testing has been involved. Back testing included with the live testing, actually. Much more of back testing and live testing has been done by me. So from lockdown period itself, 2020, from 2020, I have been looking into the markets. Indian markets and indices. Indices, basically, I used to look at the indices. Indices momentum is particularly different compared to other momentum. So I used to continuously look at the indices momentum, and I used to track them, how they use it to work, how they use it to react on the certain events, certain points, how they use it to move on certain occasions.
Okay.
With the planning, and planning was one thing I used to really follow, one thing I used to really believe. I used to see on the larger time frames, weekly, daily, 4 hours, used to plan my day. It was not simply like that I jump into a market directly looking at 9 o'clock US New York session. I don't usually jump into the market. I just take a step back, and I analyze the market every day before of how it can react. I used to have an idea about how the market can be today, New York session, how the market can be. So that used to be my key player, actually. Yeah.
Okay, so I suppose the idea of patience and discipline and having that crystal clear focus in line with your trading plan is ultimately so important, that you have, right, you enter off of certain conditions, but you do so relevant to what meets your strategy, making sure you're happy, making sure you've got those validations, and then trying to maintain that bit discipline and patience in the background, I guess. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, very much so. Brilliant. Okay, fantastic. This is a brilliant call. I'm loving this today. I'm really, really loving this. So I suppose then, with that being said, right, with your back testing and forward testing, do you scale in? Do you have like what I call anyway, a one and done approach? So let's say one trade per, let's say, analysis. Do you take multiple positions? Do you scale in? Do you dial into multiple trades? Or do you, let's say, I know we've had a lot of that lately with martingale and so on, but would you add multiple positions to a chart or to a piece of analysis? Or are you like, right, one trade, that's me done, that's my risk allocation, and let's see how this plays out? What do you employ?
Actually, in my recent funded account, I have been trading Forex. I have been practicing Forex. I've just now started trading Forex. So you can't find much of a profit in my very funded account or on the very first account. But now I have separated my accounts entirely. One for US 30 I've kept and one for the gifted account. I'm trading Forex entirely on that. So what I basically do is in US 30, I take a single position, not more than 1.7 lot is my target. Actually 1.7 to 2 is my maximum lot. I basically not don't exceed my position. Actually, I believe in a trading is a mental game. I have already told you this before. So
Yeah.
when my capacity of my mind exceeds the quantity of my mind taking, my capacity exceeds my quantity, my mind will start giving me wrong signals, wrong directions. I'll go into wrong directions. I'll be so aggressive, I'll be so impulsive in the trading journey. Once my quantity exceeds, once the numbers start moving more than my expectation, my behavior, my
Okay.
experience, they start moving more than that, my psychology definitely gets disturbed and I definitely mess up this that day. How
Yeah.
much ever good momentum it is, I'll mess up that day if I don't have my fundamentals, my personal fundamentals, my psychology on board, on correct, or else I
Okay.
would mess up that day.
So you very much like an internal process then, really. So you've got a self-control to say, well, I can manage trades successfully up to a certain size. If it starts to go above that, relevant to a risk profile, to a percentage profile, then you become a little bit more uneasy. And then that's where you feel that the mistakes start to come through. Am I correct? That's effectively kind of what you're saying there, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, mistakes. Yeah, I've learned from my mistakes, from past mistakes. I've been broken. I've been taking losses continuously. See, the greed is a very big problem for every trader. Actually,
Massively.
when you get the profit of $100, $200, you
Mhm.
expect for more. You get
Yeah.
1%, you expect for two. You get two, you expect for four.
Or
Actually, there were many instances where I used to get profit of more than my expectation, but my greed used to be used
yeah.
to take over me, and it used to destroy me.
Yeah.
2% profit. There are situations that I closed in break even or 0.5% profit. I used to be very much disappointed. I used to see so big profits, but because of my greed, it will go more, it will happen.
Mhm. Mhm.
Those circumstances will destroy you. So yeah, I've
It's
learned
it,
from my
it,
mistakes,
it, it,
obviously.
it's all about being calm, being focused, but realizing that, look, everyone's human. You can maybe bring up your dashboard. We can go through some of the basic metrics and we can talk about your risk reward and so on and so forth, maybe in a bit of a deeper level.
Okay, just a second. I'll log in.
No problem, mate. This is your funded. Like I said, this is your 10K funded. Brilliant, amazing.
This is my
Love this.
first funded account.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. First funded. Amazing. So you can see here, as you said, you had that tricky start with
Yeah,
that
here on the very
fundamental.
first day, I lost, I think, on the very first day, I lost the $400, $475. The
Mhm.
profit, you can see 9,524. On the
Yeah.
very first day, I lost the $475 on the very first day. It was very disappointing that day. But lately, I managed slowly to get over. But again, I faced the same problem. I didn't know how to face the fundamentals, and again, I lost something around 320. I lost around $700. You can see
Okay. Okay.
six
So
eighty dollars something I lost.
So, in your opinion, then, if we can even just isolate those two instances, for you really to be successful, it's really navigating around choppy, volatile news events to making sure you're not getting
Yeah,
caught.
100%. You should
Brilliant.
be aware of the news that's coming up because you don't know.
Yeah,
You might be technically correct, mindset might be correct, everything might be correct, but market news might hit you very bad, and the volatility might take your account over, might just
yeah.
blow your account at once without your knowledge.
Hmm.
You'll be every time right. You'll put a stop loss, you'll put a target, you'll put everything, but you don't know. You never know what's coming up. So you need to
But
be aware of the news that's coming up.
be wary of I suppose what's coming at all times. I suppose is really, really, really important, and making sure, I suppose, like I'm even looking at your data, if even your statistics. I think if you scroll down slightly, you'll see it. But the average lot is only 0.95, which shows that as an individual, your average. Now, I know you talked about you trade Euro USD, and it's kind of skewed some of the figures somewhat, but on average, like to be able to say, right, I'm going to control my risk, I'm going to control my position sizing, to give me that more
Yeah.
control. The better, the more I handle, the more control I have, the better I handle my discipline and my process and everything. I think that's remarkable for a young man, as I said before, as young as yourself. Like that's truly, truly incredible stuff. And like a lot of people might watch this and say, "Oh, a 10K account is not that much." Well, I tell you what, I don't know too many 18-year-olds who's getting funded and passing and taking regular withdrawals, and that's credit to you, sir. So absolutely, and I think that's really testament to where you're going to go. And I suppose like with that aside, then, and obviously looking at your data and looking at your metrics in your dashboard, I think what like I know obviously you've been through a long journey, right? You've been what nearly this is your fourth year, you're telling me. If
Yeah,
you could, let's say, go back and tell your 15-year-old self, and I know you're only 18, and I'm sure you believe that there's a hell of a lot more to learn, and there's a hell of a lot
yeah,
more.
surely,
You're
surely. I'm
you're
open to learning. I'm not
yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
not
exactly.
narrow mindset. I'm not a narrow mindset, obviously.
Exactly. And like I believe I thoroughly believe that you're the type of character that or type of individual that's like, look, I've come a long way in 4 years, but there's obviously so much more to go and so much more to learn and develop. But if you were talking to, let's say, yourself tomorrow, back to yourself as a 15-year-old kid, right, starting out, or a teenager, shall we say, right? I don't like to use the word kid. Um,
Yeah.
what would you tell yourself to focus on, right? After all
My
the lessons you've learned, after all of the heartbreaks and the failures, and obviously liaising and seeing with your folks as well, what would you be telling yourself to focus on?
my 15-year-old, I would obviously tell to focus on the process rather than money, actually.
Okay.
Focus on the process and not follow the all the strategies in the market. You can't capture all the water in the sea. I think that's what I believe. You can't capture everything, every market you can't capture, every move you can't capture. Just focus on how much you got, how much you can get. Instead of trying to get everything, try to get something that's in your hands, actually.
Mhm.
In lately, when I was 15-year-old, there used to be so much impulsive. The mindset of 15-year-old, I think you must be very well aware, the mindset of it is very fragile. At that
Yes.
age, it's very fragile and it's not very much matured, actually.
Mhm.
You're very much impulsive. You are seeing numbers. You are seeing numbers moving continuously, thousands of rupees in my country, rupees. You see rupees moving up and down. You are not very much, mature enough to know all that, actually. So just focus on the process.
I just think that's really fascinating. I just really fascinating to learn about the process and understand how you operate as such a young man, and being able to navigate. Like I know at 15 and 16 years of age myself, when I was way many years ago, I hadn't the maturity, I hadn't the sense, I hadn't so many personality traits that you have, and I think your future is always only going to get so much brighter. And I know you talked about there telling yourself what you would do at 15, and I think that's really, really important. But what would you, if you were to look at any new trader now, and this is kind of fast forward from 15 to, let's say, 18, heading for 19, okay? What would you tell new traders now in the industry to focus on?
Indian traders.
Any traders, any traders at all?
Any traders, I would tell to not run behind the strategy. First, improve your psychology and first improve your mindset is definitely I would suggest anyone,
Mhm.
because without psychology and your mindset, how much of a good strategy you have, you'll mess up in the market. You'll blow up your account. How it doesn't matter how good your strategy is, how good you are doing,
Mhm.
but you're without a good proper psychology, you'll mess up in the market. That's for sure. Even if you priorly know that the market will go from this point to this point, you won't make money if you don't have proper psychology, because trading is a game of mind and trading is a game of emotions. Mainly emotions will take over you if you don't take over them.
Yeah, fascinating. This is really, really fascinating. I love this. I really do love this. And I suppose as well, right? You're just gone 18, right? Do you,
Yeah.
as quite an ambitious young man, because you are very ambitious, I can even see it in you. I can see the drive in you, which is incredible. Do you have, or do you set regular goals and objectives for yourself, or do you just kind of say, well, look, I'm going to take it day by day, week by week, or do you have an idea? Say, well, by the time I'm 21, this is kind of where ideally would I like to be. Do you operate under that basis, or as I said, do you just take it day by day, week by week?
Actually, in my trading journey, I think it has really started to take off now. I'm just started to be profitable from this year only. I've started to be profitable. I have much more plans, much more to do in Indian markets. Also, I'm looking forward very much to the Indian markets. To open a firm and to do a lot more in the trading journey, to change the mindset of the people in India. The trading is not just gambling, it's much more. You can make money. It's not just gambling or something. There's a lot more in trading apart from apart from gambling, what people refer to it as. Many people refer trading as you lose money, don't do it. You'll face a lot of disencouragement. Actually, I've never seen anyone encouraging me to do trading except my parents. No one has encouraged me to do for trading actually.
There's really this negative stigma attached to it that it's a myth that no one can be successful or no one can be profitable, when in actual fact, and I see it myself day in, day out, that what's stopping people from being successful is basic principles, as you're talking about there, your process, your psychology, your risk. If you can overcome all of those issues, you're probably, and I'm sure you'll say it yourself, you're probably 70 to 80% more likely to be successful. And I think that's hugely important. And I just think the journey is just, it's just incredible. Like I said, I've mentioned it before a few moments ago, like 10K, right, for a lot of people isn't that much capital, but like this is only the start of your journey. This is only where you're starting from, and the world is really your oyster in terms of where you can go and where you can develop. So Sujeeth, like absolute pleasure to have you on today, my friend, and obviously best of luck for the rest of the year, and not just the rest of the year but beyond with us and whatever else you choose to put your hand to, because I think you seem to be the type of guy that you're very sensible, you're very mature. Anything that you put your hand to, it nearly comes with time, comes with experience. You get there in the end, and I can't wait to see where you develop with us. And we definitely love to have you back on for another interview. Let's say in 6 or 12 months' time in the future, to see how you're getting on.
Surely, I'm looking forward for that. I'm shortly after the next 10K account, I'm planning for the next 100K account directly. Wow. As I've just told you that I've just started being profitable, and this is just the beginning. There's a lot more to go. There's a lot of journey remaining, and this is just the beginning. I've just the 4 years journey has just started to sprout now. So there's a lot more to go. 100K, 200K, and just I think you're launching 300 and 400Ks.
Imminently, yes, in the future, it's coming, it's coming. Absolutely.
So I'm looking forward for that, and I'm not leaving Alpha. Definitely, no one has ever supported me like this. Alpha
good to hear.
is gonna be Alpha, and we are going to be in a very long run. We are going to be together.
Lovely. Well, look, from our side, we want to keep our good traders happy, and we want to look after them as best we can, for sure. And you definitely fall into that as well. So, well, look, Sujeeth, I'm not going to hold up any more of your time, but today has been amazing. Great call, great insights from a really young but mature trader. And obviously, best of luck with this second 10K account. So you'll be up to 20K then, and really starting to compound those accounts and compound that growth. So best of luck for the rest of the year and beyond.
Thank you so much, guys. I'm looking forward for many more funded accounts and many more withdrawals with Alpha, and another interview with you very soon. Very much.
Definitely.
I had an amazing day today talking to you. This is my very first trader interview, and it has been a great experience, I think. And I think we'll do this again very shortly. Definitely,
my friend. Have a good day. All right. Thanks, Sujeeth. Cheers.
Thank you so much, Gareth. Thank you. Have a lovely day. Thank you.